This is Ted Kabaitis with SEO Tool Lab. I wanted to show you a new product I'm making called SEO Editor Pro. The way it works is you enter in your keyword and you put in any specific targeting like country, language, nearest city, and the number of top results to use, and then you hit search and you'll see in the log pane that it is collecting information to use. So it'll do a quick analysis of the keyword that typically takes a minute or two, and then we can access the full capabilities of the content editor. So right now it's caching information that will be used by the editor when we start creating our content. Right now it's pulling competitive metrics. We see it's pulling word count in blue, the variant count in green, the exact match in red, the entity count in purple, LSI in brown. So we can see that it's getting that page one context, and once we have that, then we'll be able to start using the editor. Up here at the top we can see the spinning logo. This means that the software is busy. It stops spinning when it's complete, like we just saw. It tells you how many pages it was able to load. Sometimes you'll say 20 and it'll load 19. One of them might have been a PDF, or one of them might have been a server that wasn't responding. A number of things can happen out in the wild web. But now that we have this here, we can start adding content. So we use our content collectors. So we have a number of things, and if it's available to us, the entity carousel only exists in some Google searches, not all. When it appears, this button will enable. But we can pick from these to get ideas for content. So this makes it easy to do content research. Since we're doing a list article about types of backlinks, I want to pull from headings. So now you can see we have our headings, but they're all different kinds. They're H1s, H2s, H4s. So I'm going to select all, right click, and let's convert selection to LI tags. Now I have everything as LI tags. Some of these things might not be applicable to what we're doing, like this 14-day free trial. I can right click over here and say delete selection, and it'll delete it over here on the source code side as well. Or I could delete here. Let's see, 3 types of backlinks. We'll get rid of that one. And it deletes over here in the preview. Another thing we can do if we want to see how much of our content is duplicate content, we can hit the fingerprint button, and that will change the preview mode to show us in red which content appears to be problematic. And so we're looking for words that are greater than 5 words, or phrases that are greater than 5 words. And so it's good to see those pop up. The ones that are shorter are typically just things that would naturally occur in pages anyway. It's hard to distinguish them from common terms. It stops being duplicate content at some point and just starts being a common word or phrase. So we look for 6 words the same or more, and then we try to fix those if it seems appropriate. So I'm going to turn that off. And here we go back into normal editing mode. So now we can go in here and do a number of things. So we can say, oh, these are pre-numbered. It's going from 1 to 25 here. So I can select all and say, let's denumerate. And now they're normal. I can select all and let's make them lowercase. And then we can see over here they're all lowercase. Then I can select all and let's do a title case on each of them, and it puts them in proper title case. So we can do things of that nature. We also have an integration, an optional integration with Word AI. So if you have an API key from Word AI, you'll want to put that in here. You also need to use a free TextRaiser account to get your entity counts. So I recommend going and getting one of those. There are hot links here for getting those. Down here are the common fields that will be used if you try to create an HTML shell. I'll show you that in a second. So right here we have our list. Let's say I want to change that to an ordered list. I say convert selection to an ordered list, and now they're all numbered. If I decide that we want to sort these, I can select the ones I want to sort and sort selection. This will also dedupe. Our sort feature automatically dedupes exact matches. And so now you can see our data is getting nicer to work with. And then typically what you can do is you can go through and delete the ones you don't want. And so we'll just go through here quickly just to create a draft. And then we can see that we have some content. We're wondering how we do competitively. So we can either just hit Command D as a shortcut, or we could hit this button. And what that will do is it will calculate our competitive metrics. It'll show us that we have 2 duplicates. We don't have enough LSI words. We don't have enough entities. We have 1 of 6 exact matches. We can see our tuning right there. So what I'll do is I'll go and add more content. So I'll go in and add the people also ask questions. So now we can see that we have all these questions that people also ask. And we can go to the bottom and let's cite our sources for where this information came from by including the search results. So now I have the search results here. And so I can go in and label these sections. So now we're citing our sources. We have our other related questions. And we'll throw in an H1. And then if we go back and look at the fingerprint again, we can see that it highlights all of our new duplicate content. So we'd want to go through and address that, but let's look at this backlinks for beginners, 7 types of links. So if we wanted to, we could just delete it or edit it. We could also say spin it, because we have that Word AI. And so this will take a second while it contacts Word AI's server to spin this text. And then it'll come back and replace the selection with the spin. And you could also have it replace it with the spin text. But now we no longer have that duplicate because we spun it. Sometimes it's going to be faster to just edit it, but if your brain stops working because you've been just going too long, sometimes you just need a little help. So that's a cool trick you can do. Let me disable the duplicate content scanning, and then I'll show you one more thing or 2 more things before we end. So now we have this good start to some pretty authoritative content. So we'd want to make it unique. We're citing our sources. We'd want to maybe add to it manually. We also might want to figure out how to cost it. So we have this recipe button that shows you a lot of the highlights of what we did to get to this point. So we spent about 10 minutes. We did a few hundred keystrokes. We did one delete. We did some spinning. We looked at uniqueness a couple times. So we have this recipe of what we did to get the content to this point. So if you're going to charge for work, this gives you at least some ideas of time and keystrokes and edits and types of operations. It's logging the type of search you did, how to do it. So you can make these recipes to either give to people to say, if I can do it in 10 minutes, you ought to be able to do it in something similar. Or you could say, this is 10 minutes, I'm going to charge X for that. So it's just a nice little utility there. Another cool thing we can do is we could say, give me a shell, so an HTML shell. And so when you put that in, it creates an HTML document. It's all of the metadata, all the meta tags, all of the icons, here's doubling core, all of these cool things. Another thing you can do is if you want a star rating, use the star rating button. Put in your critic's name, your rating, your target keyword, and it'll put in the star rating schema into the page for author rank. So the one that doesn't rely on fraudulent reviews. So this is the proper one to use if you don't have reviews that you can demonstrate. So those are cool features. So they can be huge time savers. If you hate doing all the boilerplate, it can do all the boilerplate for you. It's a full editor, so there are advanced editor options. There are keyboard shortcuts. And there will be more to come. So we'll have a lot of amazing things here. And again, the powerhouse is going to be the content collectors. And so you'll have a lot of fun playing with these. There's full RSS feed aggregators. There's all of your SEO keyword lists like the LSI, the variations, the autocomplete phrases. They're all right there. Different types of search results. Open graph cards, all kinds of things that you can use to get ideas for your content to really make it authoritative and rich as possible. So I hope you like the tool. Thank you.